Okay, this is the tape. It is in pause mode right now. They're going to roll it, and here it is. Hughes, Larry Lindsey, Condoleezza Rice, these are Andy Card. Some of these folks are mentioned as possible cabinet posts. You've seen them walking into the governor's mansion. The shouting you hear in the background are protesters. Here's Governor Bush.
Thank you all for coming. I'm here with Secretary Cheney, Larry Lindsey, my Chief Economic Advisor, Condoleezza Rice, National Security Advisor, Andy Carter, and Clay Johnson. There was a count on election night, and there's been a recount in Florida. And I understand there's still votes to be counted, but I'm in the process of planning in a responsible way a potential administration. There's been a series of ongoing meetings that the Secretary and I have had on a variety of subjects. So that should the verdict that has been announced thus far be confirmed, we'll be ready. And I think that's what the country needs to know, that this administration will be ready to assume office and be prepared to lead. Larry, in particular, is going to talk about the markets, and Condi is going to bring us up to date on a lot of matters. There's issues in Israel right now that I'm looking forward to hearing about, and these meetings will go on for a while, and then tomorrow the Secretary and I are going to be up at the ranch, and we'll have more meetings. And any questions you have about what's happening in Florida, I would ask you to refer those to James Baker. Secretary Baker is in charge of the process. He's doing a very good job down there, so I would ask that any questions you have about the politics of Florida, Mr. Baker can handle those questions.
Governor, generally, though, do you think it's time for Al Gore to give up?
Frank, I think each candidate and each team is going to have to do what they think is best in the best interest of the country. I think in the best interest of the country, it's in our country's best interest that we plan in a responsible way a possible administration. And there's been 2 votes, and we're pleased with the results of the 2 votes.
Governor, since you seem so sure that you will win, have you given thought to resigning early as governor of Texas to give your full attention
well,
to the transition?
I am mindful that there's still votes to be counted, Tom, and we're I believe, as does Secretary Cheney, that the responsible course of action is to prepare. And that's what we're doing here in Austin, Texas. We're taking our time. We're in a very low-key manner preparing for a possible administration. But there's still votes outstanding. And I understand there's still votes outstanding.
Traditionally, Governor, though, when you're in a transition period, you get the cooperation of the outgoing administration. Are you making any contact with the outgoing administration?
I think that's a little early, Frank. Right now, there's still, there's still votes to be counted.
What do you say to people who, if you take office, think you will be illegitimately taking office? What would you say to those people?
Repeat the question, please.
Some people outside, when you're seeing the protesters, will say that it won't be a legitimate presidency because of how close it was. What do you say to those people?
I would say we have a constitution, and and I live by the Constitution. We've had 2 votes counts already, and I'm pleased with what's happened. I'm sure there's going to be some people disappointed that their man didn't get in, but there's also going to be a lot of people very happy. But our job will be to unite the country, and I'm confident that Bush-Cheney administration will be able to do so in a dignified way, in a way that
will... bipartisanship and being a united or not divided. What would be your first step to extend all branches? I think
we got to just get the election behind us, and then we'll be glad to explain what our strategy be. Right now, we're obviously planning in a way that I think Americans will find a responsible way. I think it's up to It's up to us to prepare the groundwork for an administration that will be ready to function on day one.
Would the cutoff date then be the tabulation of these absentee ballots? Would that be
Frank, I think you ought to.
Dean.
Again, Dean Reynolds. You know something? It's been a long time since I've seen you, Dean. We haven't spent much quality time together. It's good to see Sam Berman over there too. How quickly we forget. You are Dean Reynolds?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm George W. Anyway.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it is. I beg your pardon. What was the question again? I'm sure. Me too. Sorry.
No, it's November 17th when the tabulation of all the absentee ballots. Is that the cutoff date? Is that when you will figure that the election is over and these court challenges and all that can go their way?
I think, again, I'd refer you to Secretary Baker there in Florida.
Do you have any concerns about your ability to govern given that or on the popular vote?
I think they're still counting the popular vote, and no, I don't at all. I'm looking forward to bringing this nation together. I've had a record of being somebody who can unite and reach across the partisan divide to get positive things done.
Is Mr. Lindsay under consideration for a possible Treasury Secretary job in Bush administration?
Mr. Lindsay has been a loyal friend and a person whose judgment I trust.
Governor, putting aside his right, at what point do you think this dispute will start to become true?
You know, it's hard to tell. I think it's, this is certainly unprecedented in modern times. The more quickly this gets resolved, the better off it is for the nation. And we believe that the responsible course of action is to be well prepared. It's in our nation's best interest that should I assume the presidency, that this is an administration that is planned well and is prepared to assume the highest office in the land, and it will be, and we will be prepared. And anyway, good to see you, Frank. It's my pleasure.
Have your folks heard?
Excuse me. I beg your pardon, Dean.
Okay.
That's all. Thanks.
Anybody ask for a recount in Wisconsin, Iowa?
I appreciate you all coming. Thank you very much.
All right,
Have fun out there.
Governor?
Huh?
You have a good workout?
I did. I should have stopped and kind of bragged about it, but I was afraid you might ask me questions other than my workout.
That was a raw, unedited feed of a pool tape situation, impromptu news conference there with Governor George W. Bush in Texas, surrounded by Dick Cheney, his, well, man who could become his vice president, his vice presidential nominee, talking about the need to prepare for the possibility of a Bush administration.